Damn, feeling lucky. How about most streets? Us two in these streets. Diamonds on my feet. Caught up in these talks. Circling my head top. Should've been more cautious. Now I got what I wanted. Many I've been here before.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Like my phone Codex, so I can't stop. I want it all. Listen up, I'm calling you. I need you to tell the truth. Remember when you wanted to. Remember that I said was you. Turn and eat your greens. When you fight, but you do real clean. Then you come to the bed and you love real dirty. Everybody sweater drops, you're real keen. Bring let me get your juiciest piece. Can't remember when I've had the same piece. The shops at the club never had no boundary. How's it gonna be? Wanna eat these centerpiece? Where we gonna go? You're gonna need these calories. Giving me a treat to refill these batteries. Then you only them on your knees. There's no way to dream. Ooh, it's sneaking up on you. There's nothing you can do. There's things about the boo. Sneaking up on you, there's nothing you can do. There's things about the boom. I lose control when you do it like that. Thank God you love when I go mad. Got you at the perfect time. I was watching it then. You know what you want to do, but I can never be.
There it is. There's that cowbell. If you got a little cowbell in your life, you probably got a good life. I love that cowbell. That's the Casper cowbell. Got a little over 1 minute, just waiting for other people to come in. We'll start promptly here, well, as soon as that clock is over. Sure wish I had some more cowbell. Maybe I should add my own. Love that cowbell. You might call me a cowbell addict, but I just can't get enough of that cowbell. Looks like it's time to get started at about now.
For those of you out there that hit my live, I trust the thank you very much.
I don't know if hitting the like button helps, since this is in the behind the little $3 paywall or whatever. But it might let people know if you actually found value in the video or not. Give a heads up if it's something they want to watch or not. Look at this market, all green right here today. And if you go to the week here on the bubbles, they're also very green for the top 100. Today is July the 15th. It's about 4:30 p.m. right now. What's so special? Today we're talking about the spot margin portfolio that I have over in CoinEx and what I've done and how I've structured this with that dip, what I did that's allowing me to come back and bounce back into profits. And I think that's educational, and we're going to talk about it today. It's not normally what you see when you go to YouTube or anything, or even in trading groups or anything, that, as far as I can tell or have seen. So I think it's valuable information. Let's take a look at Bitcoin right here, man, on the 4-hour. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, there were some signs in the chart toward the end of June that led me, was showing me that there might be a possibility of a reversal around July 5th. And I actually, I put my balls to the wall and put that out as a, what would you call it? A prediction. So far, so good. And it looks like it may hold true. But we would talk real, no matter what the charts tell you, how you execute and play things around that time, wherever you may think there might be a turnaround coming. That's the most important thing, because things could easily just, come up here, got rejected, and what I saw may not have played out. So I went into this conservatively, but with the plan, well, since we're down and I've been wanting to get it's a good time to open spot margin accounts when we get a big, nice correction on the market, or, at the bottom of the market, we missed that, but this was a nice correction. I like this right now, what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. We're just going to briefly go over Bitcoin because this is what I've been waiting for so long. To regain this trend line, and we possibly, maybe a little back and forth here, maybe to retest this trend line again, but maybe not. We could just keep going on up from here, but we should see a strong move coming back into this trend line, making this into a bear trap. A lot of short squeezes, a lot of things will help propel us up there. So that's going really good. And what we would hope if we had a reversal and come back in this pattern. So far, so good. Let's get on and talk about the spot margin trade, because that's where all the alpha is going to come. Here is my profit and loss. And last time I showed this, I don't have the video to pull up, but it was under 100,000, or, I remember 88,000 at one point. I don't know. I've added coins over here. I've taken bags, and I've still got some bags I've not moved over because they're still on staking, like NEAR. I've got a good sized bag of NEAR I can pull over here and capitalize on that too, since, altcoins got decimated. They gave up all their gains. I mean, I pretty much saw my portfolios go back to like almost beginning status, almost, on some things, or it felt like that. That all the gains I made all year just felt like they were all given back, and now it feels like we're getting them all back together again. So here we go. Last today's profit and loss. Thank you, Jesus, for the nice pump that we've had today and since July 5th. But so far, where we are at price today with Bitcoin and altcoins, today only it says I'm up $14,000. Last 7 days, I'm up $37,000. The biggest thing would be to go to the could we customize? I don't know if this will work. I usually go by the last 90 days, but customize would definitely show everything, because we'd be going back to about January just to see where I am overall. And is this what happened here? Let's see if this will work here. Yeah, I'm getting nothing. Just give me a cumulative profit and losses. To what? Did I not do it right? This should be, I would think this would be, I guess it is. Okay. Until today. I think this is how we work this. Let's try this just for a second. Oh no, that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay, well, we're just going to make this easy, and we're going to come over here to just 90 days. So, what the hell are you saying? I didn't make... Oh, I see. Okay. So, last 90 days, I'm should be coming back to about break even or starting to get into profit altogether for this. So, that big drop I started going into, it started going against me a lot higher than the price of our Bitcoin right now. So we're recovering early. This is what it kind of looks like. It's been give and take, and man, it got ugly. It got ugly. But the plan that I put in place definitely did help. So we made a comeback. So now we went from, I definitely remember, definitely under 130,000. What have you been in the last 30 days? Last 30 days, it says I'm up $8,000. And the last 7 days where all the big games are coming, that $37,000 game. So yeah, that would put me somewhere, closer to around 90,000. So not bad to make a comeback from that. And all I did, let's bring the account up itself here. Futures is also doing good, but that's not the topic of the thing here. We're talking about the spot margin account. So it's currently sitting at 143,000. It was sitting around 80. Today's P&L is, I guess it's more updated than what we just saw there, 15,000. Okay, so here's where I am. The majority that I've got is in Bitcoin, and I've spilled some Bitcoin over here and over here to put this up. I calculated last night. What I did is I went through on my books, made notes about how much of each coin that I transferred over, so that I won't lose track of that. So that I know what I need to at least pull out what I put in, right? And everything else will be profit. So I'm tracking that separately because that's just a good idea. And then all the coins, there's some of these positions that I borrowed from Bitcoin, bought on spot, put it back over here, borrowed against it, and build up a bag that way. And I've got to keep up track of which ones I didn't actually move the coin over, which ones that I'm playing that way, because those plays are entirely either for maybe a bag and a coin that I didn't get up a bag in, but mostly just to pay back the loan that I own Bitcoin. Now, my loan, got up to like $107,000, and that's when we were falling, and I was starting to freak out. So the first plan of action I had was to pay this loan down. How do you do that? Well, all the profits that I'm getting, I'm weaseling out. I'm taking any kind of profits that I can get off of the altcoins and everything, taking that money, transferring over to the spot, and then I'm transferring it back over here to the Bitcoin in dollars and paying back that loan. Now, I've also taken profits. At one point, this was 2.47 Bitcoin. Just recently, it got down to like 2.09 because as Bitcoin went up, I paid myself a little bit, like 0.001, 0.001 to 0.005 Bitcoin. Some cases, maybe 0.1 Bitcoin. I didn't do that very often, but that helped me pay the loan down. Now, my liquidation price, which is what I was stressing when we were dropping and talking about dropping to 40, my liquidation price was like 46,000 or something like that. Well, that's not going to work. I'm at 33,000 liquidation, so I've got my main goal is covered. Oh, sweet! I just noticed my risk percentage meter over here on Bitcoin's 190%. So when that got down to 120, I was sweating bullets. At that point, I put in all the Bitcoin I could put in to save this sucker, to go in, because I got a little too risky there. And during this drop, I had to settle that out. I had to balance all this stuff out. That was very, very important to get everything just balanced out to where everything was safe. Liquidation prices were where we wouldn't go. Sometimes I'd have to borrow cash from Bitcoin and put it over to some of these altcoins to give them a little cushion. And that's part of the strategy. That's why you need so much Bitcoin, or if not Bitcoin, stablecoin. You need a bunch of stablecoin. I'm going for Bitcoin. My whole goal is to come out with this with as much Bitcoin as I can. I've gotten control of 2.24 Bitcoin. I think it says I've actually moved. I put in a total of 1.35. So I'm still under in getting back what I need to balance my Bitcoin out that I borrowed over to this account, that I put over to this account. But it's coming. I can get up to 2.25. And so now that I'm in a good place with my liquidation here at 33,800, now that we kind of got a position established, when we get some bigger pullbacks and things like that, I can borrow more and get a bigger position. Eventually, I want to grow this up. I can potentially pull out as much as I have available over here, if that makes sense. So this is a 10x position, Bitcoin against USD. It's just 10x. That's the pair. I borrow money against the Bitcoin I put over there, which was totaled up to be about 1.35. I put it over little by little by little, and borrow cash against that, and that lets me control find too that leverage, that 10x. I can, you know, depending on how much I borrow, it may be 1x, 2x, 3x. Ultimately, about the most I could hope to generate over here quickly would be about, maybe, let's just say I got 5 Bitcoin, that I accumulate 5 Bitcoin. I would reasonably expect with the 10x, cut that in half, just cut that whole number in half, that I might be able to get out with 2.5 Bitcoin. I got 2.24 Bitcoin over here. I would expect that I could reasonably get out with at least somewhere around half of that or better. Just keeping it as it is and letting the number go up and paying off the loan. We'll see, but I've got a plan that seems to be working where I can just gradually build this up. I want to come out with this with as much Bitcoin as possible. That's my main goal. My Caspa bag, you know, it was hanging around 100,000. We're up to 162,000 now. Risk percentage is 186. That has grown. I am taking some profit, and right here, oh no, this is in order. I've got some orders set for Caspa. I don't know if they will be hit. I'm just trying to add a little back to this. Just adding, I'm nibbling if we come down, I'm nibbling. Just add to this because I don't want it to wreck me. Liquidation price is at 10 cents. Probably won't go back to 10, but you know, it's still kind of there and I need to kind of keep my eye on it just in case we do kind of drop back. Make sure that I've got a plan in action where I can step in and, you know, add funds if I need to, or add Caspa if I need. I don't have any more Caspa to add to it. But this one is almost at break even now, so getting really close to having my initial back and all that, so that's cool. Let this guy ride. And that's basically what I've been doing. I've been taking some small profits on some of these altcoins as they go up, and then making some buys when they get pullbacks. And with the profits that I get, I'm paying back the loans, and then I'm also taking a portion of each time that I have one. Let's see, do we have something? Do I have anything? I don't have any. Okay, here's something. Here, I got Cardano over here, right? Let's go take a look at this. So I would repay my loan right here, but I wouldn't necessarily repay it all. Maybe I'll just repay 40, and then I'd like take $10 of this and transfer it over to spot. Yeah, I do this for all these positions I've got because I've got a ton of them, right? And I'm collecting all those profits, get $500, $200, $500 at the time. Every time I get a little collection of dollars, I'm doing one of two things. One, I'm pulling it off the exchange to pay myself because I pulled out, I'm not sure how much, a good $2,000 or $3,000 from this process just to pay me to pull my collateral out. It's also cool to remember though, you are borrowing this. Now, if you borrow this money and you pull it out and transfer it over, that is borrowed. That is, talk to your accountant about this, but there's your tax. You don't pay tax on borrowed money. Think about that for a moment, okay? Think about that. Make sure that you talk and explain all this stuff to your accountant and everything. You know, we're on spot, but if you're taking the money out in a loan, well, that's not the same as you taking out your profit. I'm sorry. That's you essentially having a loan. Quite possibly a tax-free situation there for you. So getting with your tax people can help you confirm that, but just throwing out some food for thought that most people are not really thinking about, and that's a big issue right there, and I like that. Listen, if you go to the bank and you borrow $100,000, you put your house up for collateral, you're not having to pay taxes on that $100,000. Sales taxes if you're spending it or whatever, but you just pay that loan back and it's even. There's no taxes that you pay on the money that you are able to pull out of your collateral and use however you want. You have that right. Taxes are only for income and gains, capital gains. So the majority of them that we're talking about, we're concerned about, that's it. So some of these things can be helpful in that idea if you're thinking about it from those point of views, and that's why I like spot margin. Let's go over here and let's just assets overview, I guess. I'm withdraw. Let's see how much cash I've pulled out. I don't know. Tell me. I just want the history. This is so different on my withdrawal records right here. In the last, well, I've done it in the last 7 days, but which asset? USDT So this is what I pulled out in this last week: $139, $337, $338, $522, $379, $600, and $356. So a good little amount that I pulled out to pay myself. Yeah, I could technically do this. I could pull out between $200 to $500 every day as long as we're on a solid uptrend on Bitcoin and not even phase this. But that's how, this is part of my strategy to accumulate a nice pile of cash for, one, to reimburse me for my collateral that I put into this market altogether, and two, to have for those big corrections that we drop, and I need that cash to take advantage of it. This strategy is working pretty well for me, just making sure that I'm steadily pulling out something every day, every week. I like that. That's making a difference. It's not letting me round trip this stuff. And as these altcoins are coming back from a bottom, man, it's working beautiful. Don't do too much, not trying to do too little, trying to get paid though. And I like it. It's really been cool. Spot margin, I think, is an excellent strategy just because you actually own these coins. It's not like the futures where you don't own the coins. You're all doing all the paper stuff. You can withdraw these coins and keep them. So if I want to build a bag, it lets me build a bag, like me building this Casper bag up to 162,000. I don't know how much of that I can keep. I just know that my collateral over here, that what I put in on Casper was about 78,000. So I can get somewhere between 78,000 to 162,000 after I, should I decide to just play this and pay this loan out as Casper goes up. I'm still building a nice bigger bag and coming out with some profit too. So I went through and I made notes of which ones are still kind of under, my undervalued considering what I put in for the bag as collateral and where that collateral bag is now. And some of the bigger ones, and these are some that I'm probably borrowed from to initiate some other positions, to start some positions down here. But most of, man, all the ones I started, ICP is up a lot. I would thought this one was down. Man, this is one of my best performers right here. She's already at man, we've already made back our money. We've already doubled this one. I'm 198%, and that's because she's over 200%. Once they get over 200%, you're above where you started. Now you definitely headed into some good profit, and when you get up to 200% there. Because what that means is I can clear this out and take my, just whatever I got ICP here. I'd come out with about half of that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to grow this because there's a lot more room for this one to grow. But that one's been kind of cool. So I got a list of all the ones that are in profit because those are the ones I want to look at. Am I trying to, build a bag, or am I trying to use the profits for that to pay off this Bitcoin because that's my main goal? Or a combination of both. I got so many options that I can do. It's whatever will work to benefit me. That's why this is so much better than perpetual futures, where you're just sitting there on your, oh my God, and I went too much leverage, and oh, damn it, I got liquidated. I hate that. I was not liquidated at all during this last drop. There was a small liquidation of my render position that I had during the very first drop because it caught me by surprise. It was small, but I built that back, and man, now I've got 521 render over there from nothing. So pretty cool. So spot margin is just a tool that a few exchanges have it. CoinEx has it. And I'll put that link in the description below and put it up here. KuCoin has it if you have access to that. Palau ID may be helpful. I don't have one yet, but I'm working on trying to get everything lined up to get that. Because you need some options in here. There's still risk to this because if some kind of KYC starts going through with crypto and they feel pressure from whatever global authorities or whoever to start telling people they got to get off the exchange unless they KYC, that's going to screw me up. So I'm at risk having so much of my coins on the exchange because that's kind of going against my rule. But I'm working on that to figure out my plan on, when I'm going to start pulling my coins off and putting them back on the hardware wallets. That's very important. I'm not going to keep them over here the whole time. This is to kind of get me going and get me to build some bags, pay off some Bitcoin, try to build that Bitcoin bag up. But, I'm going to be pulling off, a little of these coins as it goes. Casper, Solana, all these, and go with the ones I'm going to keep for my long-term plays I'm not trying to sell out of these and take profits, but a lot of these other little guys I got going on, and I've got a lot of them, which is I don't recommend either. But this is where I'm at, and this is part of my process to weed these guys out. Look at this ENA, I'm up 239%. I'm in profit on that little guy. It's a small one, man. So I borrowed money, and then I bought it on spot, then I put it over here, and then borrowed money against it again. Now I gave an example of that over Mask during the last stream, how I did that. I borrowed $100 from my Bitcoin, put it over to spot, bought $100 worth of Mask or whatever it was, maybe even $50, I don't know. Moved it over here and then borrowed against it. Now look at this. If I want to borrow against my Mask now, I can still borrow another $50 to $74. Not going to do it, of course. Not just yet. I've got some here that's in an order that was borrowed. But now this position is I'm set. I've got 76 Mask. My liquidation is 138. And I did this all from starting from $100. And if I were to sell it now, it'd be whatever, 76. Let's see. Okay, we made a little bit of a come up. $188 is what it would come out with. Okay, I'm cool with that. It's almost doubled from borrowed money. And it's still going. She's just getting started. So I like that. So that's what I'm doing over on CoinEx. Let me go over to the chat. Oh, please tell me my microphone is on. And let's see if you guys got any questions, if I got to explain anything better. But that's pretty much what I've got there going on. Cowbell says Day P. Yay! Hey, there's Joe. Man, happy birthday, Joe. Hey, you did great over there on Trading Wars. Shout out to Joe on Trading Wars day at 1 o'clock. Nailed it. He came out and profited on that show like a boss. And here we go with the link for this exchange, CoinEx. Wherever they have spot margin, you can do this. I recommend, I'm using isolated margin on each of these here. I used cross margin on KuCoin before. It's got its perks, but if you don't understand how it works, you could let it get away from you because it just kind of throws everything together. And when you get liquidated on cross margin, it all goes. So if I get liquidated on isolated, it's just whatever coin I'm in. It would just the dot bag or the BNB bag or whichever one that I let screw up. When you're on cross margin, it's hard to track all that. And one coin that just decides to just tank it all, it could hurt you a lot. So for this one, I do recommend the isolated margin, and it's automatic here on CoinEx. I don't even think they offer cross margin, but a lot of places do. Fairbanks or Fairdesk, I know that they have cross margin positions, and they even have it in the perpetuals. You'll figure that. You can get spanked there without realizing that it's happening, and by the time you realize that it's going to happen, it's too late to do anything about it. You're like, oh crap! You just got to watch it play out. Not a good feeling on cross margin sometimes, but it can, if you know how to use it. You can leverage it very smartly with a big Bitcoin position in there or something. All right, so I think I've pretty much gone over everything. I don't see any questions there. So let's see. I'm going to go over my futures trading real quick, just because, well, we happen to be here. Because I had to finagle with that little guy too. She's doing good. I'm using 8x leverage. That's all I'm using. That's my new rule. I'm just going 8 to 10 leverage. I may increase the leverage on this since we're doing so good in Bitcoin. And that will free up some more capital. I may do that on my USDT. Doing that kind of raises my liquidation point, so I want to make sure that we're not in danger, because I think it's around 52,000. I'll make sure we're not in danger of going back there. So I'm not in a hurry per se to do that. Let's see, I got a duck. I can't show everything. Well, that almost worked. That almost worked. So I've got a USDT, a BTC USDT long over here. It's 0.1784 Bitcoin. Average entry is about 58,006. It's come up as I add to it. So I try to keep it. I try to be mindful of that. My average entry when I'm doing these leverage especially perpetual futures plays, right? Because I want to keep that as low as I can. So I can only keep it low if I just nibble. If I make even if we get a good correction and come down and I buy too much, it's going to throw that up to like 59,000 or something like that. And then we come back to 59,000 on a dip. I'm like, well, now I'm in danger of going negative, and it just kind of. But my goal is I want to get a very low leverage between 5 to 10x on a big, nice crash dip or whatever pullback on Bitcoin, to work that maybe on the way back up if we go to 70, 80,000. I would love to get my claws into one and ride it for a bigger move to the upside. That's what I'm trying to do. And so far, if we do have a reversal here, like hopefully, if that call does come out to play, then, yay. Maybe I've done it. The only thing that's going, if I take profits, every time I take profits, though, I got to be careful. I'm just taking a little at a time, because that's going to wear down my position. So then I won't have anything. So it's up and down. I'll be adding to the position during any big major drops. Try not to buy in when the candles are green, because, well, that really throws this stuff off. But my average entry is about 58.6, 58.7 for my Bitcoin USD pair. That's the one that's actually going to Bitcoin. That's the one I'm loving. Right now I've got 8,600 contracts over there, and I'm trying to build it up a little bit. If I can get it about 10,000 slowly, cool. Right now I'm profit 0.0135 Bitcoin over there. I'm up 73%. I'm in profit $1,189, up 90% on the dollar, the Bitcoin against USTD. So far so good. And I have been taking a little bit of profit here and there. And I believe when we looked at the chart earlier, right now in this area, or the area we were, it looked like a good little place to pay myself. Or did we go above it? Well, screw that then. Did you do it? She's going above my trend line. Well, then I shall wait. I shall give her a chance, because this breaking to the upside of this normally bearish pattern, rising patterns are normally considered bearish, breaking out of this channel idea that's the angles are very much respected. We might have a nice big ass move coming, 65 up to 66,800. We are trying to make a higher high here, and I like that. Looks like we also got some other trend line going on here that we came back into, so that's a bonus. Things are looking good today. This is called Fake Out Monday, so we got to be cautious, because they may just decide to switch the scripts tomorrow on Tuesday and and pile drive us down back for a retest of this area. It could happen, or fake us out again. Could happen. So I gotta at least be prepared for that psychologically, or with stop losses or whatever I'm planning to do. With the trades that I'm trying to keep up for long term, I'm not sweating it though, because my whole purpose is, I'm just going to add if we get those big drops. That's what I'm looking for, to add. And so in those senses, I welcome a drop, because I've been slowly taking some profits and got myself in a better position, and I think we're good. But guys, that's what I've got. Hopefully that made some sense, or shared something. Oh, please tell me my Microsoft. It scares me even just reading that comment. Oh gosh. All right, guys, that's all I got. It's 5 o'clock. I think we kind of summed it up. I'm finding it helpful to kind of track this stuff a little bit more meticulously, because I've got so many coins over there on that position that I don't need that many, but this will help me kind of weed them out. And that's what I'm doing with this, tracking it and figuring out which ones are going to be my longer plays and which ones I just, I don't really have the conviction on. It just had a nice chart. I just wanted to profit from it and earn me some Bitcoin loan repayment money is basically what I'm doing with these altcoins. The profits that I get from them in cash, I'm going to repay the loan on my Bitcoin, so that all that juicy Bitcoin I bought at the cheap prices, well, I'm paying them off at that price. It's like you lock in that bottom price and you just pay it off over time. It's beautiful, I'm telling you. All right, guys, that's all I got. Congratulations, Joe. I'll see you on tonight's stream. I'm shooting for about 10 p.m. tonight. 10 p.m. I'm going to try to let that be my standard time. 10 p.m. throughout the rest of the week here. 11 is just a little too late, I believe. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you tonight.